Hello and welcome back to a New Pace podcast. As ever, I'm your host, Leslie Andrew, and today I'm absolutely full of cold and showing up anyway. So if I'm coughing and spluttering and sneezing, and if my voice sounds, which it does, it sounds a little bit nasally and a little bit stuffy, I do apologise, but I wanted to just demonstrate and model the importance of just showing up anyway. And when there's things that you need to express, sometimes it can be hard to express those. Sometimes we can kind of question whether we should I wait until I finish my cold, I've heard that before, recovered from my cold, or should I just show up anyway? But yeah, I'm not too bad, just a bit sniffly. So anyway, here's a question for you. What's important now? This is a conversation and a topic and a way of thinking about things that I have not talked about in this particular way for a long time. So the idea of think win. When people think about their wins, they often talk about like what they've achieved, what they feel proud of, what they are grateful for. And you know, what's important now for many people might be about what they want to achieve in terms of their goals, what they have on their to-do list, what their priorities are. However, my version of this, and this can lean into action or into well-being, my version of this in this think win, what's important now, literally now, not within your 5-year goal plan. Is it that you need the loo? Is it that you have to grab a tissue and sneeze? Is it that you have been walking on your feet all day and you want to just take your shoes off, take your bra off and just get comfy? Is it that now's a good time to call a friend, to call your sister, whatever it is? Is it that you really have something that you've been avoiding that you think, well, actually, I'm going to be doing that? That takes us more towards the action, the to-do list. However, this is about, something is about comfort, but something's about like what really will make a difference in your life. So it might be about just having a bit of time to yourself, or that can be really relevant for people who have big families, parents, people who like have a busy life and they're constantly around people, lots of demands from other people. And on the contrast, that might be that somebody's living alone, like myself, living alone, doesn't have any children, and so actually what might be important sometimes is to be able to go and socialise. So this message of, well, you maybe are quite exhausted all the time and you want some space to relax, that doesn't apply to everybody. Sometimes people are very much relaxed, they're spending a lot of time relaxed because they may have other demands, lots of demands that sap our attention regardless of our situation. But actually, for individuals to recognise what do they actually need, and is it about a mental rest or a social rest, a physical rest, or is it more about like feeling activated and energised? So this topic came up for me because I was thinking about the balance of acceptance and change when it comes to my life. Having that acceptance of progress that I've made over time, or progress that I may feel that I haven't achieved or made as much progress, as well as things that I can really trust myself with. So that sense of trust. And if you become very present and you're aware of what is going on inside for you, you're aware, become more and more aware, and you have that sense of knowing and trust, what is important for you right now, then that can help you to feel more confident and feel more at peace with yourself, feel more content with yourself, especially when you choose to take action on those things. So if you're thinking, what would be important now is, for instance, taking my jumper off because it's boiling and I've got my jumper on and I don't need my jumper on anymore. So those minute things, that's a sensory thing or something that's environmental or something about controlling something that you do that would impact your body or your mind, that would be helpful in that way, those things are really important, more important than the big goals. And in fact, actually, they contribute to being in a better mindset, for having a better well-being and feeling more able and focused on what you want to achieve in the end. So there's nuances around this. So sometimes it's about what you desire and do something that you really, really want and really will enjoy. Other times it's about doing the hard thing. So doing the thing that feels uncomfortable, or putting yourself out there to have a conversation that might feel awkward, or that if you've maybe expressed something in a certain way and you were questioning that, then it's allowing yourself to look within and think, what part of that is true to me, and what part of that is maybe feeling somebody else's voice, wondering, like, is that pressure from somebody else or society or an idea that is making me question those things? And are there things that you would maybe want to really hold on to with integrity about yourself, really remain true to? And are there things that have either changed over time or that you'd like to change, that you'd like to adjust and work on and maybe improve parts of your life? So an example of this might be that, just to put this into context, sometimes I've worked with people, in art therapy where, and this can apply in loads of different places, where they don't know what materials to use to start with, and they're not sure what to do. They're not sure what colour to use. And so they've just grabbed any colour. Or when I've asked people what their favourite colour is, they have either said, oh, well, just like any colour. And to be fair, I say that a lot as well. Apart from kind of talking about purples and pinks and like different shades there. But that idea of having a doubt about something as simple as what colour is your favourite can make people think, oh, I feel terrible for not even knowing what colour I like. And I do apologise. Things like that, what your likes and dislikes are, what your hobbies are, what you're interested in. We get so influenced by other people in our lives, different relationships, different family members, about what we do and don't like, that all of this can feel overwhelming. So times if you're in a relationship with somebody and then get on board with a certain hobby, and at the time it might have been really good, you might have really enjoyed it, but then you're no longer with them. So actually you might not follow that same hobby anymore. Or times when there's a certain fashion trend that you like see everybody wearing, like, I don't know, like skinny jeans or something like that, and then you get on board with that And then you think sometime later, when that's no longer in fashion, if you're enjoying wearing those skinny jeans, questioning whether, should I be wearing skinny jeans now or not? Or was I doing it last time because I was following the trend? Or was I doing it last time because I liked it? And how much of, do I choose to do things because I like them, or do choose to do things either to join in with the group, to be part of it, a sense of belonging, or in fact, on the flip side, many people choose things because they like to be unique. They're wanting to have that variety and say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to follow the crowd like everybody. So none of these things are kind of strict, but what it means, if you know, choosing to do some things for different reasons, there's all sorts of different reasons, meeting your human needs. And that's okay. You can reflect on which of your human needs are being met by certain decisions that you are making, and certain things, choices that you're making, and certain actions that you're doing. However, actually, and that's really cool, because if you know that you're doing something for variety, to create a sense of variety in your life, or you know that you're doing it because you want certainty, or whether you want to have a connection with people, or like a sense of belonging, or whether it's more about feeling that personal significance in life, all of that's great, and it's really helpful for you to understand that. I will do a longer talk about that in a bit more depth another time. But what I'm saying is that regardless of the reasons for that, I'm inviting you to trust your decisions on what you're doing, and to, when you are thinking, what is it that I need? What do I need now? You are doing that with a real intention. You're setting a real intention with that. So intentionally making yourself a cup of coffee, intentionally putting in the vanilla syrup if you've got something like that, and knowing that you're doing it because that's what you are choosing to do, rather than it happening sort of blindly, kind of automatically, without any kind of thought, without any sort of notion, or doing it because you might be very aware of doing something because you feel that you should do it. And I believe that we don't know what is going on inside someone's mind. We don't know how somebody is thinking or feeling, or what their real intentions are, what their hopes are, what their fears are. And all we see is what they show on the outside. And we can make assumptions about people with that. We can assume that people who may have their hair all done nicely, or their makeup done perfectly, that they find that easy. But they actually might not usually be used to wearing makeup. It might be quite out of their comfort zone. But we can make those assumptions about how people are doing. But at the end of the day, nobody knows each other separately. You might have close relationships with somebody, or a number of people, and you might feel connected to them and have that click, of course. But nobody knows other people. You don't know other people. Likewise, other people don't know you. So it's just about what you communicate to people and what they perceive from that. You can't determine how somebody might view you. That's beyond your control. But you can do the things that are in your control, are within your space, within your realm of influence. So, for instance, and just bouncing back to the what's important now, and trusting yourself, and this can be really relevant when it comes to planning something. Deciding when to go to the gym, for instance, or deciding what to have for your tea. We can get so tangled up and caught up in sort of a decision paralysis, decision fatigue, because we've got so much choice these days. And just being able to say, you know what, I'm going to have beans on toast for my tea tonight, I'm going to have a jacket potato, don't need to have a fancy dinner, and that's okay. And if you feel the need to justify it, explain, then that's okay as well. And if you feel that you're just going to go, I'm just going to have plain pasta, no explanation, or today I'm going to big it up, I cook for myself most of the time, so like sometimes I am making things that feel fancy. They're not necessarily fancy, but it's fancy when you're just cooking for one. Other times I make things, like I like doing stir fries and stuff like that, chilies and things. And other times it's more shove something in the air fryer and just like microwave vegetables on the pan and stuff. But you don't have to justify it. Anyway, that last little bit felt a bit rambly. And equally, I don't need to justify that either. But this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying about stepping into a new pace. Recognising where you are now, what you need right now to feel grounded, to feel regulated, to have your needs met, to have your nervous system grounded, and to feel at trust with yourself, and then what you want and need to do to move forward in your life, to navigate your next steps, to navigate a new pace. And some of those things might be really consistent all your life, and equally sometimes it might be a real pivot. You may have experienced some real big challenges, or want to, or be forced to make some changes. And when you allow yourself to really think what's important now in terms of like, I'm going to stretch my legs after this recording. That's what's important now, a little walk, and step into a new pace with certainty and with an allowance to look within and make choices for yourself. So if this resonated with you, then I'd love to hear from you about what kind of things that you recognise as being important for you, what it's like for you to trust yourself, and what kind of things might get in the way. And any reflections would be good. And otherwise, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.